Hello everyone, my name is Roshanak and today I'm going to present my Practicum final presentation that is about Zero Trust guidance, its benefits, migration challenges, prerequisites, and cost effectiveness analysis for small to medium-sized businesses. The outline covers motivation, problem statement, proposed solution evaluation, limitation of the solution, and finally the future works. As we know, the SMBs are facing new security challenges in recent years because of growth in the number of remote workforces, increased use of cloud-based services, and bring your own devices and Internet of Things, and as well as increase in the evolved cyber threats against them. That caused the perimeter-based security architecture that is based on implicit trust would not be practical anymore for SMBs. And this legacy security framework uh, is based on when the subject is authenticated and entered to the network, it's considered trusted. It ignores the insider threat, and that's why it's going to be susceptible to lateral movement. So what's the solution? The zero trust architecture is proposed as a strong cybersecurity framework that is based on an important principle: never trust, always verify. From the other side, there are SMBs that are thinking about zero trust migration, but they are hesitant because of limitations in the resources and some misconceptions regarding zero trust. They think zero trust is a security solution just for enterprises, and it would not be. They don't know if it's going to be applicable for them or not. In the previous studies, mostly the work done on reviews of ZTA, its implementation, and challenges of migration process for enterprises. A few studies are done on cost effectiveness and different aspects of zero trust, specifically for SMBs that are thinking about zero trust migration. Since there was a gap in research on zero trust migration challenges, its cost effectiveness for SMBs and benefits, for the SMBs that have security measures and are hesitant and improving their security posture based on the by migrating from perimeter-based security architecture to the ZTA, we decided to provide a foundational guidance that covers the important aspects of zero trust and SMBs that are hesitant about zero trust adoption to decide wisely. The guidance covers the following sections, as you can see in this slide. At first goes over the principles and tenets of zero trust based on the publication of NIST 800-207. Then the benefits of zero trust from the aspect of cyber threats are argued, and the zero trust migration challenges and prerequisites in SMBs will be provided, and practical solutions or recommendations for zero trust implementation in SMBs that have limited budgets are proposed, and finally, cost per benefit analysis of zero trust solution deployment is done. If I want to do a quick demo of some of the important parts of the mentioned sections and principles and tenets of zero trust, we went over the main components of zero trust and the 7 tenets of zero trust based on the NIST 800-207. And in the zero trust benefit section, we argued the aspect of cyber threats. Since many SMB owners think that they won't be the target of the cyber threats since they're too small to be targeted, but the SMB share of cyber attacks shows that 43% of cyber attacks in 2023 targeted SMBs. So we decided to consider the common cyber threats and also the top series cyber threats that are against SMBs, and argued how they can be mitigated in ZTA versus using the legacy perimeter-based architecture, and also new attack surface in ZTA's review. In the ZTA migration challenges and prerequisite, common challenges that any company would face in any scale, actually provided unique challenges for SMBs in ZTA, and providing solutions and recommendations for each challenge. And in the prerequisite section, a baseline provided that should be met according to NIST SP 800-207 for any organization that is thinking about zero trust migration. And in practical solutions, some of the topics that covered are shown here, such as VPN replacement is going to be a good start for any SMBs that is thinking about zero trust adoption. For effectiveness analysis for product deployment, we followed these 4 stages. First, we went over the commercial products that provided this services based on the zero trust principles that are identity data, application, endpoint, and network protection, and also access to their estimated costs were publicly available. After that, we calculated the estimated product cost based on the estimated product cost and the average wage for the security engineer for deploying those products. And then we calculated the estimation for data breach cost. We used the Arctic Wolf calculator to make sure you have consistent data breach cost estimations across our scenarios that we're going to use in the evaluation section. And also this calculator provided detailed breakdowns of cost distribution. And after these stages, we proposed a cost per benefit formula for calculating estimated cost per benefit. As you can see in this slide, the proposed formula used a data breach cost and cost of zero trust deployment as the main cost factors, and the notations that are used are as follows. C, B4 is the estimated data breach cost before deploying zero trust solution, given data breach occurrence. C after is the estimated data breach cost after deploying any zero trust solution, given data breach occurrence, and C deploys the cost of deployment zero trust solution. PB is the probability of data breach occurrence, and finally the QSZ is the quality of the zero trust solution that would decrease in the effect of data breach. And finally, as you can see, the cost per benefit formula would be greater than 1. The proposed zero trust solution would be beneficial for the organization. In the evaluation section, we first went over the getting feedback from some security experts who worked in SMBs by preparing some questionnaires and turning to them. And then for getting some quantitative evaluation for our cost per benefit analysis section, we implemented our solution stages and 3 defined scenarios and analyzed the results. In the feedback section, the participants' average score regarding their opinion in applicability of zero trust in SMBs and how the study could address its goals before reviewing the project was 6 out of 10, and after reviewing the project was 9 out of 10. And most participants' views for provided score before reading the project are provided here. They mostly thought that there are limited awareness of how zero trust principles can be scaled down for SMBs. And also there is budget constraints against them and feasibility concerns, and they have over-reliance in traditional security measures. Also, their views regarding provided score after reviewing the project draft are presented here. They mostly said there was a clear explanation of zero trust benefits for SMBs. There was a good emphasis on remote work security. The cost per benefit analysis was realistic. There were some actionable steps for SMBs through phased implementation. The implementation strategies for cost effective were helpful, and also there was a good choice for as an alternative to traditional VPNs. And also their feedback regard most significant strengths of the study or cost benefits and practical recommendation sections. And the most weakness was lack of real world case studies that successfully approached the zero trust implementation and lack of real world examples. For implementing the proposed solutions and the defined scenarios, we decided to categorize the SMBs in 3 categories based on the facts that the perimeter-based architecture could not be practical anymore. That was increased in the remote workforces, increased use of cloud-based services, and finally the highest data breach cost against healthcare system versus the other industries. And the short summary of each scenario are shown here: the number of employee security goals, the proposed zero trust solution, and finally the calculated estimated deployment cost for each scenario. After those steps, by following the cost effectiveness formula, we calculated the effectiveness for each scenario. And since zero trust can mitigate organizations' risk exposure at least 37%, we considered different ranges for QZ based on the zero trust maturity level, which is poor, moderate, and mature. And uh, as you can see in the provided table. And also in the right table, you can see the estimated data breach cost for scenario 1 by using the Wolf Arctic calculator, and finally the diagram of the cost effectiveness for scenario 1. For scenario 2, the same steps actually repeated and the results are shown here. Also for scenario 3, the comparison of the results showed in 3 different scenarios shows that the cost of data breach for the organizations that the cost of data breach is high, the zero trust solution can be more effective. But even for those businesses that data breach cost is not so high, we can obtain a reasonable security benefit by leveraging a zero trust solution. Regarding the limitations of the solution in the product cost, we had limited access to the variety of the commercial products since most of them were not publicly available, and it definitely affects on the estimated product deployment cost. And also these costs would be changed in future, and because of the new release and the new products and inflammations. But our concern was and goal was just bring a quantitative insight for analyzing the cost per benefit. And we didn't define more than 3 scenarios to capture the full diversity of SMBs because of limited time we had and because of not having access to the detailed SMBs data. The scenarios defined in high level, and some of the works that can be done in the future can be research and calculating the long-term cost effectiveness of implementing zero trust solution for different industries in the scale of small to medium-sized businesses. Also, more research can be done on analyzing cost effectiveness when SMBs rely on MSP or MSSPs for implementing zero trust solutions and their exact role and the benefits that it can have for the SMBs. Also, study new strategies to mitigate the new attack vectors that zero trust creates, as well as leveraging insurance can be a good factor that be considered in cost per benefit analysis and future study. And thanks for watching. Bye.